What up, fam? Do you need some extra tools that's going to help your life be the best that it can possibly be? Are you constantly juggling work, family, and personal time only to feel drained and unfulfilled? That's where the book that I wrote called The Balanced Life can be your guide to reclaiming your time, energy, and happiness with practical strategies for setting boundaries, prioritizing self-care, and achieving real balance. This book helps you create a life that you love without the burnout. Get ready to break free from the chaos and step into a life of purpose and peace. Grab your copy of The Balanced Life because you deserve a life that works for you. Also, we have The Unraveling. It's a journal to help you write, reflect, and heal. Your thoughts matter. Your feelings deserve space. The Unraveling Journal is more than just a notebook. It's your personal guide to self-reflection, healing, and growth. With guided prompts, mindfulness exercises, and room to express yourself freely, this journal helps you untangle emotions, process life's challenges, and rediscover clarity. Take a moment for you. Write, reflect, and heal, one page at a time. And fam, also another book written by my wife is Healthy Relationships. Because fam, you know this. Great relationships don't just happen. They're built. Whether it's with your partner, kids, friends, or co-workers, strong connections are the foundation of a happy life. In healthy relationships, you'll learn how to communicate better, set healthy boundaries, and nurture trust in every relationship that matters to you. Because when your connections thrive, you thrive. Start building stronger, healthier relationships today. Order your copy at kingdomservantsfirst.com. Once again, that's kingdomservants1st.com. Fam, we want you to be the best version of yourself. Get one of these books today. God bless. 80 years is a long journey, but when you look at you, and when we look at you, it feels just like the beginning, because your legacy is not just measured in years, but in the countless lives you've touched, the family you've restored, and the faith you've inspired. So today, we don't just celebrate your birthday. We celebrate your impact. We celebrate your love. And we celebrate the example you set for every single one of us. Happy 80th, John. We thank God for you, and we can't wait to see the chapter still to come. Family, 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 what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the Bacon Bits Podcast, where we desire for you to take the bits of information and immediately apply them to your life for success. The ground rules for our podcast is that will always be encouraging, uplifting, and informative. The areas of life that we will be talking about on the Bacon Bits Podcast is dealing with having a balanced life. And I need to hear y'all say it. Say valuable. Information applied equals success. And what I want to be talking about today is my 80th birthday. What a happy 80th birthday. Now, yes, I am only 58 as the current recording of this podcast. Part of what I want people to understand is, are you living the kind of life that you can honestly look back over and say, you know what, I'm living my best life, and I'm living according to the values that I set out for my life? The reason why I said my 80th birthday is because it was this exercise that we did at work, and I really love this exercise. So part of the exercise is you ask the person to do this quick exercise from their heart. Okay. You ask them to imagine how they would want somebody else to sum up their life as a life well lived. What would they like to hear about themselves at their 80th birthday? You want them to consider what they stand for in their approach to life in their later years. What kind of person do they want to be remembered for? Is it a charitable person in the community? Is it a pioneer business person? Is it a loving parent? A generous person? An adventurer. They would take risk. They lived their life. They didn't wait till the end of their life to do the bucket list. They lived a bucket list life. So I want you to write your own 80th birthday party speech and include what you would want most to hear. And a great way to find out what your values are is to actually do this exercise, to sit down and think about, man, if people was at my birthday party, because we usually do it at funerals, and I think we do a disservice to people by not doing it at birthday parties, because it's cool when they hit those different, 60, 65, 70, 75. You can do it even earlier, y'all. We can do it 30s, 35, 40s. You can do it in your early years. But what kind of person do you want to be remembered for? And you're not doing it for other people. You're literally doing it for yourself. You're living the kind of life that you want to live, that other people will speak on those very things. So I want to be a person of faith. I want people to know they've seen me live this faith thing out. That's a big one for me. So it's stuff like that. It's knowing that. Guess what I'm big advocate on health. Big advocate on health, man. Get that yearly physical. Make sure you're doing some type of exercise, whether you're stretching, whether you're doing walking, whether you're doing weight training, whether you're out doing something where that body is movement. I want to hear people say, like, man, for that brother to be this age, man, he's in great shape. Yeah, I want to hear all that stuff. And it's not just for other people to say it because I want to hear it. It is, fam, they seen the life that I've lived. They've seen what I've done. And I want it to be the same for you, that people see what you're doing. How many people, if they get to their funeral and there's nothing good to say about that person? Have we done many a lying at people's funerals about the type of person that they was? And they were nearly that type of person that we said they were. But we didn't want to, feel bad and not have a funeral and have something said about them. But we'll just make up some stuff. And that wasn't really the person. But how many people actually are really, truly living their life out to the fullest? And so I'm going to give you an example. I had wrote a little something down. And it's just to give you a ballpark figure. Like I said, I'm hoping it'll be even more than this. But this is just to give you a ballpark figure of something I was thinking about when I said, you know what? I want to live my life according to the values that I live. So this is the talk. So good evening, everyone. What a joy and an honor it is to stand here today celebrating 80 remarkable years of John's life. When I think of John, I don't just think of a man who's lived 8 decades. I think of someone who's lived every year with purpose. Someone who turned his experiences, his struggles, and his deep faith into fuel to help others. For over 50 years, John poured himself into human services, working alongside people on the autism spectrum, guiding those beating addiction and battling addiction, offering a hand to those wrestling with mental health challenges, homelessness, and young people in crisis. He never saw people for just their struggles. He saw them as whole beings, capable, worthy, and loved. And through that lens, he gave thousands a chance to start again. But John didn't stop there. He took that same heart and voice and carried it to the world as a teacher, preacher, motivational speaker, and podcaster. Through his words, he reminded us that life can be reframed, that healing is possible, that purpose is waiting for anyone willing to take the first step. John, your life has been a beacon, not just in the big ways, on the stage, behind the mic, in the books and teachings, but in the quiet ways too, in the way you loved your family, in the way you've been a faithful friend, in the way you've shown humility, even when others might have chosen pride. 80 years is a long journey, but when you look at you, and when we look at you, it feels just like the beginning, because your legacy is not just measured in years, but in the countless lives you've touched, the families you've restored, and the faith you've inspired. So today we don't just celebrate your birthday, we celebrate your impact, we celebrate your love, and we celebrate the example you set for every single one of us. Happy 80th, John. We thank God for you, and we can't wait to see the chapter still to come. That's the kind of life that I want to live. So, fam, I want you to sit down and take some time away. Have a couple of hours. Get you a Gatorade. You know, somebody say get a couple of glasses of wine. No, get a Gatorade, okay? Get you some water. And I want you to sit down and really think through your life of, man, if I live the kind of life that I say I want, what would other people be saying? Part of that motivation of you living your best life is, what are the core values that are important to you? I want every person on this planet to feel loved, and I want every person on this planet to love. Because when God says in His Word, it's more blessed to give than receive, He sure wasn't lying, man. It feels so good to love people, to appreciate them, to adore them, to build them up, to encourage them, to uplift them, to help them be the best version of themselves that they can possibly be. To help people when they can't love themselves. Guess what? I want you to be a conduit. I want you to be a person that helps them along the way, because there will be seasons in your life. I think I've went through it, and I don't think it's just a individual type thing. I think everybody has went through this, where you have a season. It ain't got to be no long season, but you didn't even love you the way you needed to be loved in a season of your life. And you got to ask yourself the question, man, can I have somebody come alongside me to hold me up when I don't even want to hold myself up? I really use this with my people in my rehab. Because, fam, when you gave up, when you was out there drugging and drinking and you didn't give a care in the world about nobody but yourself, and you really didn't care about yourself because you wouldn't put that poison in your body, how many people in your family, how many friends that you have around you that still loved you and wanted the best for you, and they was praying for you, and they was calling you, checking up on you to make sure you was doing all right? They would come visit. They did all that stuff when you was out there just tripping. You was out there just making it rain with your little finances. You was just deteriorating your life with the life that you was living, and you still had people. And we talking about especially your kids, man, because your kids, like when you break a kid's heart, man, you done did some serious breaking, boy, because usually kids have this unconditional love towards their parents, man, where they ain't giving up, and vice versa. But man, you've had a season when you gave up on you, and so sometimes you need that other person to come alongside you. And guess what? They're that crutch. They're that wheelchair for you in this season. I'm hoping it ain't gonna be no long season, but guess what? We've all had it where you gave up on you and you had somebody come alongside you and be that person for you. And so guess what? Now it's a time where people can come and appreciate you and lift you up and encourage you for all the hard work you've done. Because usually people that work in community services don't get paid what they deserve. There's no question in my mind on that. Usually people that work in community services usually don't get paid what they deserve. They do a lot of late nights. They do a lot of worrying. They do a lot of paperwork. They do all this kind of stuff to make sure people are doing all right, and they don't get appreciated for what they need to be appreciated for. And the thing that made me think about it was this morning I was vacuuming, and it was cracking me up because sometimes lessons just pop in your head out of nowhere. I was vacuuming, and the very thing that was cleaning my house, I had to clean it. The very thing that was cleaning my house, I had to clean it. So guess what? I can go out and help people clean up their lives. But then guess what? I need to clean up. I need to hope somebody come alongside me and clean me up. I'm blessed with my beautiful queen and my kids and friends and all that. But sometimes you need other people outside of you. I still crack up to this day that, some of the people with the most challenging lives are therapists. They can be great therapists helping other people. And you look at their life, you be like, damn. And it's because, guess what? They need somebody to come alongside them just as much as they helping other people. They need some people to come alongside them and help them be the best version of themselves they can be. So, fam, you will need in your lifetime, you want to be that person that stands up next to people and say, you know what, I'm going to hold you up until you can hold yourself up. Because, we'll say one of those favorite statements that people say, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. Fam, I ain't got no problem telling you, there's been many a time I couldn't pull me up. I desperately needed friends and family to come pull me up because I didn't want to pull me up. And when we talk about this 80th birthday, guess what? I want you to be that type of person for other people. And I want other people to be that type of person for you. So when you're living your life to the best of your ability and you saying, guess what? I want people to say this at my birthday. Notice when you say funeral, I want them to say it at your birthday. Don't wait till it's the last minute. I want people to give you your flowers while you're living and not put them on your grave. I want us to show more appreciation than ever, especially in the times that we're living in now. Fam, we don't do it enough. Is to verbally come out and tell people, thank you for being a blessing to me when I was going through what I was going through. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for that act of kindness that you did and you didn't have to do. And how many times do we be thinking this stuff, but we don't verbally come out and say it? We have got to be more compassionate towards people. We got to be more understanding, more encouraging than ever. Yes, we got some people that's out there that's a-holes. I didn't cuss, but you knew what I was talking about. But there's a gang of people out there that really want to be a blessing to so many other people. And sometimes we take them for granted. You take the housekeeper that's cleaning your room for granted. You take the mechanic that fixed your car for granted. You take the people that's doing your taxes for granted. You take the people at the grocery store for granted. You take the people that's at Walmart or Target or whatever establishment that you visit. Guess what? You take them for granted. Fam, we have really got to be to the point where we really appreciate and uplift the people that's around us. And I want you to be able to hear the work that you've done in other people's lives. I don't want it to be at the end. I wish we could do it every day. But at least when you have that one magnificent party that you deserve to have being thrown for you, I want you to hear it at that party that you, guess what? You were a great asset to this world. And the world is a better place because you're here, not because you were here, because you are here. And you're still doing great work and being encouraging to uplift other people. So somebody that might be listening to this, guess what? You have never been told that, but I want to tell you that. Thank you for the work that you do. If you're a garbage man, I appreciate you moving the garbage so I don't have to smell all that garbage. I thank you for the person that's doing the road construction out there so I can drive down smoother roads. I want to thank the nurses and the doctors that's at the hospital. Sometimes they don't get their just due. They don't nobody tell them. They just think because, I'm paying you, you're supposed to just do your job. But fam, I want to tell you thank you for the work that you do, for all those wives out there doing the work for their kids and their husbands. Man, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for the husbands that's out there. You're loving on your wife like you should and loving on them kids, man, being a great example to other men on how to be a good man. I appreciate you, brother. Kids, thank you for being there, being strong for your parents, because sometimes, guess what? They doing the best they can. Not all of them, but most of them are doing the best they can with what they knew. And we hope they become better parents. But kids, thank you for being so awesome. Grandmothers, grandfathers, thank you for being this great shoulders that we can stand on to see further because of the work that you've placed and put in. We thank you for that. And there's so many other kind of people that I could thank, but I'm just super grateful to say, I want you to take this from me, from my heart. Thank you for what you do and continue to do what you're doing. Even though if ain't nobody else seeing what you're doing, I want you to know, guess what? You doing it because the values and the life that you say you want to live, you're living your values. You're living and carrying it out, what you really want to be known for. And if nobody else pays attention to it, you and God knows. Guess what? I shot my shot. I did what I was supposed to do. So family, I want you to think about that. Sit down with yourself this week sometime. I prefer it be tonight before you go to bed. Instead of watching an hour of TV or 2 hours of TV, that you sit down and really sit down and think about, what do I want my values to be for the rest of my life, and how can I carry them out? So at the end, I'll hear this very speech or type of speech like it, that I lived my best life and I shot my shot. Fam, I love you guys. I want the best for you. God bless. What's up, family? If this podcast has inspired you, encouraged you, made you think deeper, or even just made you smile, then I have a simple ask. Would you consider supporting this work? Creating this podcast takes time, heart, and resources, from equipment and editing to outreach and hosting. Each episode is a labor of love aimed at lifting people up and speaking life into real situations. But I can't do it alone. Your donation, big or small, helps keep the meaning going and the message. It helps us grow, reach more people, and continue producing powerful content that uplifts, educates, and empowers. If you've been blessed by this platform, I invite you to sow into it. Help us keep the mic on and the message moving. You can give at Zelle or Cash App using the links in the description box. Thank you for being part of the journey. With gratitude, the Bacon Bits Podcast, where we speak life, purpose, and legacy, one episode at a time.